Today we have an awesome Jacqui Simon. And Jacqui grew up in New Jersey, and after earning her business degree from Virginia Tech, Jacqui headed to Orlando for warmer weather and a successful career in hospitality. After working in hospitality for over 20 years, COVID decided she needed a change. Luckily, that change came into the form of World Financial Group. She earned her license in life and health insurance, and she learned not only how to help herself financially, but how to make an impact for others. She was luckily enough to get married in a small courthouse ceremony before the world shut down, and can tell you, honeymooning in quarantine is quite an experience. Welcome, Jacqui.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I'm excited to be here today.
I love it. I would love to hear your story. How did you start in hospitality, and why did you choose hospitality, and how did you choose life and health insurance after that?
Sure. So I actually started in hospitality when I was 13 years old. I started working in a pizzeria in New Jersey. Technically, you have to be 14, but I was about a month away and under the table for a couple weeks. I started as a server. It was a small pizzeria with about 6 tables in the back of the restaurant. And anyone that might have sat down for dinner rather than just a slice of pizza, I was their server. And if there were no tables, I was a cashier. So I kind of did a little bit of jack of all trades, except making the pizza. You don't want me making your food. And that's how I got my start. So I worked about 1 or 2 days a week in that pizzeria in addition to going to school. And then I stayed with hospitality for many, many years. I worked through high school, I worked through college, always in food and beverage, some in restaurants, sometimes in hotels, but always somehow related to food and beverage. I was a server, I was a bartender. I eventually became a bar manager, a restaurant manager, an event manager, you name it, I did it. The only things I didn't do was cook and clean, but otherwise I was your girl. And I loved hospitality. I loved meeting new people. I loved interacting with people, new challenges every day of the week. It was never the same thing twice. And I was working towards what I thought was my dream career. I finally ended up working for Hilton here in Orlando at the Orlando Bonnet Creek and the Waldorf Astoria as an event manager. And I truly loved what I did. I worked with 5,000 person groups. I worked with 50-person groups. Some were associations, some were corporations, you name it, we handled it. And I worked with an amazing team that I loved so much. I thought it was my dream job. I finally got there. All the hard work paid off. And then COVID hit and the world shut down. And obviously hospitality got affected more than most companies, or most industries, I mean, and I was put on furlough. And of course, at the time, we all thought, okay, it's COVID, it'll blow over. This is nothing. We'll be out of work for a few weeks. Boy, were we naive. And I did the whole Netflix self-pity, wallowing at home. And then I realized, okay, this is a little bit more serious. We're going to be out of work for a little bit longer. I need to do something with my time. I need to actually make this time worth it and not just waste this time away. And so that's when World Financial Group came into my life. And honestly, it couldn't have been better timing. I got a call from a friend of mine that said, hey, I just started this great new business. I need some practice appointments. Can you join me and my mentor? And I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I'm not going to say no. I have nothing else to do. So why not? We jumped on a Zoom call and I met my now mentor, Leah Siegel, who's amazing. And she introduced some really great concepts to me. Some just financial basics that everyone should know, but people don't learn anymore. Financial education isn't taught these days in most states. And so this education is just not out there. People are lacking these skills. And I'm like, okay, this is some great stuff. I'll learn how to help myself. I got some old 401ks into some plans. And I really learned what I had and what I needed to reach my retirement goals. And then I realized how easy it is. I can do this business for others. And so by the time Hilton called and said, unfortunately, you're laid off due to COVID, I now have a successful business that I had built up, which I've now been doing for about 8 months. I became licensed in life and health insurance in about a month. I would have done it sooner, but the state was closed due to COVID, so I couldn't go to a testing site. Otherwise, I probably would have done it in about 9 days. But I got licensed, I've built a team, and I'm helping countless people, which has been really rewarding and has made this whole COVID experience so much more enjoyable.
I love it. I love it. Were you always attracted to finance before hospitality, or?
No, I mean, I was always known as math girl. I was always great with numbers in school. I loved algebra, but that was it. I was not into finance. My personal finances were a huge mess. I knew nothing about how a 401k really worked besides the company takes my money. I didn't think, oh, how am I supposed to help other people with their finances? Mine are a mess. But this company focuses on mentorship and education amongst all other concepts. So they truly teach first. And if you know what's out there, then you can plan accordingly. If you don't know what your options are, then you can't make the right plan. So I just love that I got the education through this company that I definitely did not have before this.
That's awesome. You're already an 8-month entrepreneur. What would you say was number one mistake?
Thinking I knew what I was doing before I knew what I was doing. Luckily, I have amazing mentorship, but at the very beginning, they would teach me a concept and say, okay, let's do this together. I'm like, no, I got this. I can do it on my own. And I made all the mistakes that you could make. Spoke too much, described things incorrectly, just kind of like vomited words when less is more. So definitely tried to do it on my own when I should have taken a step back and used my mentor's help a little bit more.
So what would be your advice, like number one advice for those who is starting out or on the fence of starting their own business?
Get a mentor. Absolutely, 100%. Don't try and do it alone. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Get with people that know what they're doing. And so you can learn from their mistakes rather than making them yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know that financial industry, and in America, in general, I think it's everywhere in the world, there is a huge gap in how a woman approaching finances, and it's unfortunately that's a kind of epidemic on its own.
Absolutely.
So what do you think on that?
So that's a great point because most women shy away from their finances. They let their husband take care of it, or they let their father take care of it, and they just listen to the men in their lives. And women outlive men most of the time. So even if your husband does all the right things, he passes away, you're still around, you don't know what you have. So it's so important to get educated and not just rely on the men in your life. Even if you still let them handle it, at least know what you have. Know what your goals are, know what you're working towards, know what you have in the bank, know what your retirement is, know where your life insurance policy is found. Just get educated so that you can be on the right step. And then our company teaches women and men, young, old. No, we don't discriminate. We actually like to say that we bring Wall Street to Main Street, and we help people that are overlooked by the financial industry so that they can learn for themselves and get educated and get on the right path. So it's all about knowing what's out there, knowing what your options are.
I love it. So what I'm hearing you saying that somebody who wants to start in the industry become successful is to get a mentor and follow what they say. Is there anything else?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the biggest, obviously, just networking. Never say no to making a new friend. Obviously, it's hard to meet people the old-fashioned way these days. So go on Facebook, go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram, say hello to people, start conversations. You never know where it's going to lead, whether it's a new friend or new business partner, a new client, a new mentor. Just connect. There's too many people out there to have a small world. So just make new friends.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How our audience can find you?
I have an agent website. You can search for my name, Jacqui Simon, JACQUI SIMON, and type in WFG for World Financial Group. And that's how you can find my website. And I'm happy to talk to you from there.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Bye. Bye, Jacqui.
Bye.
And if you love this episode and you would love to see more of that, click the subscribe button to Purposeful Woman Podcast. And don't forget to text us to stay in tune with the Purposeful community for awesome tricks by texting to number +1 401 399 4105. And we will link descriptions in the episode to all of that we mentioned today. Bye. Turn your one day to day one with a purposeful day.